Well, certainly it's a signal that they think it may, if they're talking about military equipment and training, which will only bear fruit for Ukraine, at least at the end of the year.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the German parliament after attending a conference to gather support for rebuilding Ukraine.
How will the G7's groundbreaking decision affect your money? In a recent announcement, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed willingness to engage in peace talks with Russia, contingent on the withdrawal of Russian forces from Ukrainian territory. Amidst these developments, France pledged over $1.5 billion in aid, primarily aimed at bolstering Ukraine's energy sector. This move is part of a broader, significant shift marked by the recent G7 summit, an event traditionally emblematic of international cooperation among the world's most influential economies. For decades, the G7 summit has facilitated pivotal discussions among global leaders, fostering strategies on everything from economic policy to nuclear disarmament. This year's summit, however, took a dramatic turn with a decision that could reshape the global financial system: the reallocation of frozen Russian assets to aid Ukraine amid its ongoing conflict. The bold move by the G7. The Group of Seven, which includes Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States, serves as a platform for these nations to synchronize their economic policies. This year, they agreed to an unprecedented step of utilizing $50 billion in Russian assets, previously frozen due to sanctions, to financially support Ukraine. This decision is a departure from previous norms where such assets were untouchable under international law, primarily held in European banks. However, this assistance comes with strings attached. It's structured as a loan rather than a grant. The interest on this loan is to be covered by the earnings from the $300 billion in total frozen assets, while the principal remains a debt for Ukraine. This arrangement ensures continued financial engagement between Ukraine and its Western allies, but also burdens the Eastern European nation with a long-term debt that could impact its economic future. Implications for global financial stability. The reallocation of these sovereign assets sparks a broader discussion about the stability and reliability of the global financial system. Traditionally, such assets were sacrosanct, protected by international law. This shift might undermine trust in Western financial institutions, as countries could fear potential seizures or repurposing of their assets in response to geopolitical tensions. The immediate fallout could be a significant withdrawal of funds from Western banks, affecting their operational liquidity and possibly destabilizing financial markets worldwide. Moreover, this could encourage nations to diversify their reserves away from predominant currencies like the US dollar and euro, opting instead for other currencies or commodities, like gold. This shift would challenge the dominance of Western currencies in global trade and finance, potentially increasing market volatility. Legal and ethical challenges. From a legal perspective, the G7's actions could face significant challenges. The international legal framework has long safeguarded the sovereignty and financial assets of nations. By redirecting these assets, the G7 might be seen as overstepping established boundaries, potentially inviting lawsuits or retaliatory measures from affected countries. Ethically, the decision also raises questions. While the intention to support Ukraine is clear, the method imposing a significant debt for using seized assets may not be the most equitable solution. This approach not only prolongs Ukraine's economic recovery but also blurs the lines between financial aid and direct involvement in military conflicts. Geopolitical ramifications. The decision also sends a strong geopolitical signal, particularly to Russia and other nations watching the situation unfold. It illustrates the potential consequences of actions deemed unacceptable by the international community. However, it risks escalating tensions further, especially with Russia's strong condemnation of the move and potential threats of retaliation, such as seizing European assets in Russia or disrupting energy supplies. China, holding a significant portion of Russia's foreign exchange reserves, also finds itself in a tricky position. While maintaining neutrality, the reallocation of Russian assets might push Beijing to reassess its financial relationships with the West. potentially strengthening ties with other nations and moving towards a more multipolar financial world. Support for the decision. Proponents of the G7's decision argue that the extraordinary circumstances created by Russia's invasion of Ukraine justified extraordinary measures. They view the asset transfer as a direct way to support Ukraine while holding Russia accountable for its actions. This stance posits that traditional norms sometimes need re-evaluation in the face of severe crises that threaten global security and human rights. Supporters also believe that such actions serve as a deterrent against future aggressions and affirm the international community's commitment to uphold international law and sovereignty. They argue that the global financial system must adapt to address these evolving threats in a connected and interdependent world. Navigating the future. The aftermath of the G7's decision necessitates careful navigation between adhering to established financial norms and responding to emerging global challenges. While there's a clear need to preserve the integrity of the global financial order, the current geopolitical climate calls for a more agile and responsive framework. One potential path forward could involve establishing an independent international financial court to oversee and approve asset seizures under exceptional circumstances. This body would operate under strict criteria, ensuring decisions are impartial and transparent. Alternatively, strengthening existing international institutions, like the United Nations or the International Monetary Fund, could provide a more robust mechanism for addressing financial issues related to international conflicts. Enhancing the authority of these organizations could help balance accountability with the preservation of global financial stability. The G7's decision to transfer Russian assets to aid Ukraine highlights a complex interplay of geopolitics, economics, and ethics. As the international community grapples with maintaining stability and responding to new threats, the path forward will require innovation, dialogue, and a readiness to adapt to the changing landscape of global finance. The outcome of these efforts will likely shape the future of international economic relations and the global financial system itself.